What if the most popular fruit tree in the backyard is also one of the hardest to grow well? That is the problem with apples. Everyone knows them. Everyone wants them. But many home gardeners discover too late that apples can demand pruning, spraying, pest control, disease management, and constant attention just to produce a clean harvest. And while you are fighting apple scab, codling moth, fire blight, and poor fruit set, other fruit trees are quietly producing more food with far less drama. Today, we are looking at 13 fruit trees that can outperform apples in the home orchard. Some bear fruit faster. Some handle poor soil better. Some need almost no spraying. Some can produce dozens, even hundreds of pounds of fruit once mature. One was so important in Asia that it helped support the silk industry for thousands of years. Another is so productive and low maintenance that one tree can be enough for an entire family. This is not just a list of unusual fruit trees. It is a smarter way to think about growing food. Because the best orchard is not the hardest one to manage. It is the one that gives more than it takes. Serviceberry is one of the best fruit trees most gardeners still overlook. You may also hear it called juneberry or Saskatoon, depending on the region. Long before it became a landscape plant, indigenous communities used these berries as an important food, including in pemmican. That history matters because this is not a fragile novelty tree. It is adapted to real North American conditions. Serviceberry grows in zones 2 through 9, which means it can handle deep northern cold and still perform in many warmer regions. The berries taste like a blueberry mixed with a hint of almond, and a mature tree can produce around 15 to 25 pounds of fruit in a good season. Unlike apples, it does not usually require a heavy spray schedule. It also avoids many of the classic apple problems, like codling moth, apple scab, and fire blight pressure. Plant it in full sun for the best fruit, or partial shade if you need flexibility. Just remember, birds love the berries too. Harvest when the fruit turns deep purple, before the birds finish the job for you. Mulberry is one of the most productive fruit trees a home gardener can plant. A mature tree, in the right conditions, can produce hundreds of pounds of fruit in a season. Some large trees can reach 300 to 600 pounds, which is far beyond what most backyard apple trees ever deliver. This tree also has a deep history. Mulberries were grown across Asia for thousands of years because their leaves fed silkworms, supporting the silk industry long before modern orchards existed. For home growers, the fruit is the prize. Mulberries taste like blackberry mixed with honey, and they ripen over several weeks instead of all at once. Illinois everbearing is one of the best-known choices for colder regions and can grow in zones 4 through 9. Once established, mulberry asks for very little. No complicated spray schedule, no constant babying, just a tree that wants to produce. American persimmon is a fruit tree that rewards patience. Its botanical name, Diospyros, is often translated as food of the gods. And once the fruit is fully ripe, that name makes sense. This native tree grows well in zones 4 through 9 and handles conditions that would stress many apple trees. Poor soil, dry spells, cold winters, hot summers. Once established, it can become a tough, reliable producer with very little spraying or disease pressure. A mature tree may produce 35 to 75 pounds of fruit in a good season, but there is one rule you cannot ignore. Do not eat American persimmon too early. Unripe fruit is extremely astringent and can make your mouth feel dry and puckered almost instantly. Wait until the fruit is soft, almost jelly-like, or until it drops naturally from the tree. Then the flavor changes completely. It becomes rich, sweet, and deep, with notes of honey, apricot, and brown sugar. For a low-maintenance orchard, American persimmon is one of the strongest native choices. Asian pear is the tree for gardeners who want the crisp bite of an apple without the same level of apple frustration. The fruit is round, juicy, and incredibly crisp. When you bite into it, the texture feels almost like an apple, but the juice and sweetness are closer to a pear. This tree has been grown in Asia for thousands of years, and in the right home orchard, it can be extremely productive. A mature Asian pear can produce 150 to 300 pounds of fruit in a strong season. That is far more than many backyard apple trees ever give. It grows well in zones 5 through 9, with some varieties handling colder areas. Another advantage is speed. Many Asian pears begin producing in about 3 to 4 years, which is faster than many traditional apple trees. The main thing to remember is pollination. Most varieties need a second compatible Asian pear nearby for the best fruit set. You should also thin the young fruit, leaving fewer pears on the branch so the remaining fruit grows larger and better. For apple-like crunch with less orchard drama, Asian pear is hard to beat. Jujube is the fruit tree for gardeners who think their soil is too dry, too poor, or too difficult. In China, it has been grown for more than 4,000 years and is sometimes called the poor man's fruit. Not because it is low quality, but because it can produce where other fruit trees struggle. Jujube grows well in zones 5 through 10. It handles heat, drought, wind, and lean soil with impressive toughness. Once established, it often needs little to no extra irrigation. A mature tree can produce 40 to 100 pounds of fruit in a season. Fresh jujubes taste like a small, sweet apple. When dried, they become chewy and date-like. Many varieties are self-fertile, so one tree can still produce fruit. And because it is still uncommon in many American gardens, it often has very few pest problems. If apples feel too needy, jujube feels almost unfairly easy. Quince is one of the most forgotten fruit trees in the modern orchard. But for centuries, it was valued across the Mediterranean and Europe for one reason: fragrance. A ripe quince can perfume an entire room. The fruit is golden, firm, and usually too hard and tart to enjoy raw. But once cooked, it transforms completely. It becomes floral, rich, and deeply aromatic, perfect for jelly, paste, sauces, and roasted dishes. A mature quince tree can produce 50 to 100 pounds of fruit in a good year, and it grows well in zones 5 through 9. It also tends to face fewer problems than many apples and pears, especially when planted in a sunny spot with good airflow. The spring flowers are beautiful too, soft white with a touch of pink, giving the tree ornamental value before the fruit even begins. Quince is not for people who only want fresh snacking fruit. It is for gardeners who want old-world flavor and heavy harvests from a tree most neighbors forgot existed. Elderberry has become famous because of syrups, teas, and traditional home remedies. But in the garden, its biggest advantage is productivity. This is a fruiting shrub that can start giving useful harvests quickly, often by the second year. It grows in zones 3 through 9 and handles wet soil better than many fruit trees. That makes it valuable in low spots, where apples, peaches, or cherries may struggle. A mature elderberry can produce around 12 to 15 pounds of berries in a season, enough for syrup, jelly, or preserves. It also needs very little spraying compared with more disease-prone orchard trees. But there is one safety rule: do not eat elderberries raw. The berries should be cooked before use, because raw berries and some plant parts can cause stomach upset. Plant at least 2 different varieties for better pollination, and use netting if birds are stealing the harvest. Elderberry is fast, useful, hardy, and surprisingly easy when handled correctly. Pawpaw is the fruit tree that feels like it should not exist in a temperate orchard. It is the largest native fruit in North America, yet the flavor tastes almost tropical. When fully ripe, the flesh is soft and custard-like, with notes of banana, mango, and vanilla. That is why people who taste a good pawpaw for the first time usually remember it. Pawpaw grows well in zones 5 through 9, and a mature tree can produce around 25 to 50 pounds of fruit in a good season. It also has very low pest pressure compared with apples, partly because the fruit is not built for long-distance shipping and has never become a major commercial supermarket crop. For home growers, that is an advantage. The best pawpaw is eaten fresh, close to the tree. Plant 2 different varieties for pollination. Give young trees partial shade while they establish, then more sun as they mature. Pawpaw gives you a flavor most stores cannot sell, and most neighbors have never tasted. Medlar is one of the strangest fruit trees you can grow, and that is exactly what makes it valuable. It was once common in medieval Europe, and even appeared in old literature. but modern gardeners almost forgot it. The tree grows well in zones 4 through 8 and can handle cold winters, ordinary soil, and low-maintenance conditions better than many people expect. A mature medlar can produce around 20 to 40 pounds of fruit in a season, but you do not eat it straight from the tree. Medlar needs a process called bledding. After harvest, the fruit is left to soften until it turns brown and almost overripe. That sounds wrong, but it is the moment the flavor becomes right. Properly bledded, medlar tastes like spiced apple butter with hints of honey, wine, and dried fruit. The tree also has beautiful white flowers in spring and a graceful shape in the garden. Medlar is not ordinary. It is for gardeners who want a fruit tree with history, flavor, and a story. Cornelian cherry sounds like a cherry, but it is actually a dogwood, and that makes it much tougher than most people expect. This tree blooms extremely early, often in February or March, when the rest of the garden still looks asleep. Small yellow flowers cover the branches before many other fruit trees have even begun to wake up. It grows well in zones 4 through 8 and can tolerate clay soil, urban conditions, and cold winters. A mature tree can produce around 20 to 40 pounds of red fruit in a season. The fruit is tart, bright, and intense, with a flavor somewhere between sour cherry and cranberry. It is not usually the fruit you eat by the handful fresh. It is the fruit you turn into jam, syrup, sauce, or fruit leather. Cornelian cherry also has strong disease resistance and rarely needs the kind of spray routine apples often demand. You get early spring flowers, ornamental bark, reliable fruit, and very little drama. For a low-maintenance edible landscape, it deserves far more attention. Cha is one of those fruit trees almost nobody talks about outside serious fruit-growing circles. You may hear it called Chinese mulberry or kudrang, but whatever name you use, the idea is the same. This is a productive, unusual tree that deserves more attention. Cha grows well in zones 5 through 9 and can produce 50 to 100 pounds of fruit in a good season once mature. The fruit is round, red, and bumpy, with a flavor often described as watermelon mixed with fig. That alone makes it different from almost anything in a normal backyard orchard. But the real advantage is how little trouble it causes. In many American gardens, Cha has very few serious pest or disease problems because local insects do not recognize it as a major food source. It does not usually need a heavy spray program. It does not demand complicated care. Some forms have thorns, which can help discourage deer, but thornless selections are available too. Cha is not famous, and that may be exactly why it is so useful. Fig is one of the oldest fruit trees humans ever cultivated, and it is still one of the most practical choices for a modern backyard. A good fig tree can produce 50 to 100 pounds of fruit in a strong season, and some varieties can even give 2 crops in 1 year. The fruit is rich, sweet, soft, and almost impossible to understand properly until you eat it fresh from the tree. Store-bought figs rarely compare. Many common figs are self-fertile, so you usually do not need a second tree or a special pollinator to get fruit. They also tend to have fewer pest and disease problems than apples in a home garden. Chicago hardy is famous because it can survive cold winters, even if the top dies back and regrows from the roots. Figs also grow beautifully in containers, which means gardeners in colder zones can move them into protection for winter. For fast fruit, easy care, and ancient flavor, fig is hard to ignore. Mulberry deserves to appear again because it is not just productive. It is complete. A good mulberry gives you heavy harvests, strong flavor, wide climate adaptability, and very little maintenance compared with an apple tree. It grows well in zones 4 through 9, and many varieties are self-fertile, which means one tree can still give you a serious crop. You do not need the same kind of spray schedule many apples demand. You are not fighting apple scab. You are not planning your season around codling moth. You are not watching for fire blight after every warm, wet spell. Instead, the fruit ripens gradually over several weeks, giving you time to eat fresh, freeze, dry, or make jam without being overwhelmed in one weekend. Mulberries can also be propagated from cuttings, which means one good tree can eventually become trees for friends, family, or another corner of your property. If I had to choose one fruit tree for maximum production with minimum drama, mulberry would be near the top every time. The biggest mistake in a backyard orchard is thinking apples are the default starting point. They are familiar, but familiar does not always mean easier. For many home growers, a smarter orchard begins with trees that are naturally productive, more forgiving, and better matched to real backyard conditions. Serviceberry gives you native reliability. Persimmon handles neglect. Asian pear gives apple-like crunch with less frustration. Jujube thrives where other trees complain. Quince, elderberry, medlar, and Cornelian cherry turn unusual harvests into syrups, jams, jellies, and preserves. Pawpaw gives you tropical flavor without a tropical climate. Cha gives you rarity and productivity. Fig gives you fast fruit, container options, and ancient sweetness. And mulberry gives you one of the strongest combinations of production, flavor, adaptability, and low maintenance in the entire home orchard. You do not need to plant all 13. Start with 2 or 3 that match your zone, your soil, and the way you actually want to use the fruit. Fresh eating, preserves, wildlife value, low care, difficult soil. There is a better tree for each goal. So tell me in the comments, which of these fruit trees would you plant first? And which fruit tree has disappointed you the most in your own garden? You do not need a harder orchard. You need smarter trees.